Hi guys, how are you doing today? I don't have a good topic for today's video, but I did kind of want to mull over something that's been on my mind. My brain is very all over the place right now. I'm noticing that happen, so this will probably not be the most eloquent video in the world, but that is okay. I Sorry, I had a total brain fart. I've done so much work in the last 2 days. I don't know, I'm feeling really good about my productivity in the last 2 days. It's making me feel like a thriving member of society. It does make such a huge difference if you can actually get work done. Such a huge difference. So anyway, I'm like an oil slick right now. I'm doing the really sleek hair look, you know. I'm like, which one is it gonna catch me? Because I never actually choose my thumbnails. I just let it. I mean, that's obvious that I just let it pick for me. So it's always the weird always doing the strangest thing that a person could ever do. I'm like, oh, I didn't know my face could contort in that way. I didn't know my hands could do that. Every time I see the chosen thumbnail, it's really funny. So this is what I did actually want to talk about on here, and that is the concept of emotional labor. I am super hyper aware almost 99% of the time that almost all of my friends, okay, let me revise that. Almost all of my female identifying friends expend a crazy amount of emotional labor on those around them. And because most of the people I interact with in my community are folks who believe in concepts around community and around our responsibility to really give back to each other. And so because of that, we tend to, almost every woman I know tends to give themselves. It's I can see them on a web or something, and myself included, and you're just like I am woman, my hand is woman, and every part of me is stretched to the thinnest part at the edge of every finger, spreading out. It's stretched so thin. And the part that is me that is back here or something, is just not even there, because I'm being tugged in so many different directions. And I feel I want to talk to my friends about this. And I'm not exactly sure how, because I feel I'm in a similar boat that, somebody, I mean, today even, I have offered my support to people in my life 5 or 6 times today. Today has been a little bit of a heavy day. I've also had a really, really intense work day, so I haven't been able to be there as much for people as I think that I typically would try to be or something. But today has been a pull. I've had multiple phone conversations today where I was really the person who was supporting in the role, or listening to somebody vent, or giving advice, or assuring that I was going to, follow up with somebody and make sure that they were okay, or whatever, easing people's minds. And it's not I am unique in taking on that role. I'm saying, it's like several of the people that I talk to today are people who are like also doing that. And so I feel like, so not only is, okay, I'm woman, like here, but then like they're like here or something. And so it's like we're all like stretched thin, we're all like connected. And so essentially we're all like holding each other up, but we're not holding ourselves up. So I'm just like, how do we do that? How do we get back to the really core part of ourselves that needs to be fed, like our souls that need to be taken care of? How do we take care of that part of us while still making sure that everybody who has been relying on us thus far and everybody who we want to continue to be there for, like we can do that work. I talk about this in therapy sometimes, and I think there are certain ways in which I've gotten better at it. In the past, when people ask me for favors, I like very quickly would just like go along with it without like asking any like parameters or questions or anything to like make sure that I would feel safe, like in the situation of the scenario, whether it was, you know, somebody crashing on my couch or lending somebody money or what else have I done? Like donating certain items to people who were really in need. Or, I mean, a lot of it is like time too, like spending substantial time and energy with folks, helping folks with like written materials, just like helping folks with a family situation, like talking to their family, like different things. I don't know, like different like kind of sets of tasks that like maybe I'm not 1,000% comfortable with all these things. And so like I have gotten better about, you know, asking follow-up questions and then stating if I don't feel uncomfortable with the favor that I'm being asked of. And I think that people in my communities, like, we try to uplift each other and like try to tell each other that that is ideal, that we take care of ourselves first. But like, I think that because the ideal is community, sometimes it's maybe looked down upon or like looked at like, oh, well, you know, if that person like has the physical or mental capacity to do this, like, why don't they just do it? Like, why are they filtering it through a system or whatever? But I do think that we all have to take care of ourselves. And I don't really know how to like tell other people that in my life, because I feel like I'm seeing, and I'm a hypocrite because I'm not always good at it either, but I'm like definitely seeing certain people who I really care about, like, letting themselves get so stretched paper thin that I'm just worried for them. But maybe they're fine. But I think that we all do need reminders that we are only human, and that even if we have the capacity to do something, it's also, especially as women, it's okay to say no. And you don't even have to have a reason. It's okay to not feel comfortable about a situation, even if you feel like you like are receiving pressure, that you should just be comfortable with it. It's okay to listen to your gut instinct about something. And it's okay to not always be able to be the savior, and not always be able to donate, and not always able to provide the emotional and physical and mental support that it takes to 1,000% of the time uplift everybody around you. It's okay to focus on yourself, and it's okay to do that for an indeterminate amount of time. And it's not okay for people to judge you for it. It's not okay for you to be questioned about it. And it's not okay for people to, I think, put their values and assumptions and beliefs onto you about the way that you should be. I do want to live in this giving, generous society where we all support one another. But we also live in a society where women are often extremely marginalized and often put in situations where not only are we taking care of like ourselves and like maybe like our past trauma or something, but we're taking care of like 5 other people's trauma too. And like, how can we get ahead that way? Like, how can we like break glass ceilings or like do what we want, you know, with our careers and our families and our lives if we're put in that situation? So I don't know, I guess at the end of the day, it's like my random plea into the abyss that like is telling everyone I know that it is okay for us to be selfish. And we should support each other in that. Because we trust each other. We know that we're there for each other. We know that we're all doing more than we should. We know that we're good people. So I think it's okay for us to be selfish sometimes, and for us to say no, and for us to go to the spa, or read a book, or just bow our heads down and admit that we can't do this one because we need to be taking care of ourselves. So that is my kind of preachy message for the day. I told you guys I was self-righteous. Like, is it coming out? Is it coming out? But anyway, I mean, I'm serious about this. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've said this before on this channel, but like, I care about my friends. Like, I care about my friends so much. You don't even know like how many times that these people have been there for me, for all of the reasons in all of the ways that like I kind of mentioned earlier about them just like being these incredibly selfless people who are just giving. It's like some of the people I know have like an endless fountain of just generosity, and it's absurd that I know people as selfless as I do. But it's okay to be selfish too. So with that, I hope you guys all have a great evening and a pleasant tomorrow, and I will talk to you soon.